Michael, you must be delighted with the past few days and how things have gone in terms of your results and other results in the league.
Yeah, I mean, well, first and foremost, I think we've said all along, we do really focus on ourselves and try and hit the targets that we set ourselves that we've done throughout the season. Obviously, we're way ahead of them at the minute, but I think there's a real focus with the players and everybody at the club just to concentrate on what we're doing. And if results go for us elsewhere and people can help us along the way, then great.
Darren Moore, your opposition manager on Saturday, has called Saturday's game the best in League One. He says it's the key tie in the division. Would you agree with that?
Well, it's certainly an important one, isn't it? Obviously, they're playing ever so well at the minute. They're on a fantastic run. They're a very, very good side. They have been for the last probably 3 or 4 seasons, even previous to sort of Darren going in there. And they've got a well-established core of about 5 or 6 players who have done really, really well for them. So we know it's going to be a tough task. It's going to be a very different game to Tuesday. It's going to probably be a little bit more expansive game. Both sides, want to play. Darren's Doncaster side a little bit more slower in their approach and possession base, where probably we want to be a little bit more on the front foot and attack more and get the ball forward into our wide players and strikers. So, listen, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be an exciting game, hopefully, and hopefully one that we can sort of come out on top on.
I was just looking at some of the stats for the season so far, and I think it's nearly 75% of your goals are scored in the second half. Is that a positive in the fact that you're finishing games strong, or do you look at it and go, we need to change something in the first half?
Well, I suppose we were sitting at the top of the league. I've got to look at it and go, it's probably a positive thing, but you're right. No, I think we can start games better, and I think some of our bigger performances of when we've started really, really well in the games and been on the front foot. Having said that, part of the process when we were putting the squad together at the start of the season clearly was to reduce the age, and the reasons being to have a lot more energy and athleticism in the group. And I think we've got that, and we're up there with the best in the division in terms of youth, energy and athleticism. So that certainly helps in the latter part of the game. I think it's important to stay in games. There's only been a couple of games this season where I've been annoyed that we've let a goal and we've shown too much disappointment. It's got to us a little bit, and then we've conceded a second or a third. It's only happened on a couple of occasions, because I do believe that we've got a group that if we do go behind, and with the odd goal behind going into the last 15 minutes or so, I always fancy us.
Transfer-wise, any movement?
There's movement, but it's slow. But, whether it's a permanent or potentially another loan, I do expect, 1 or 2 to come in before end of play on Monday.
Aaron Lewis, anything happening there?
Not at the minute, no. I think it's key for him to go out and play football. His age and the amount of sort of injuries and disruptions he's had over the last couple of seasons. So we'll try and do something to sort of make that happen. And if we can't, we can't. But it certainly won't be for the want of trying.
One name flying around social media linked to you is Michael Mancian. Is anything happening there?
No, I mean, Michael's coming in. He's just training with us. He's actually George Grant's brother-in-law, believe it or not. So, yeah. So, listen, Michael's just coming in and train. Obviously, he's spent the last 2 seasons over in America. And he wants to stay fit and try and play as long as he can. And we're more than happy for him to come in and train. He's a good guy. Yeah, you never say never, but at this moment in time, he's just here to sort of come in and train. And like I say, I don't mind having good people around the place if that's the case.
And on that, someone like him who's available on a free transfer, obviously the transfer window shuts, but free transfers are still able to come in. Do you think clubs will look into that market with there being so many players still available from the summer?
I think so, yeah. And I think there's a lot of lads, like you said, who are available from the summer who probably read the climate wrong. you know, whether that's from a financial basis or a timing basis, whether it was them, whether it's their agents. We're in a different world now in terms of, you know, what clubs can pay players at different levels. Obviously, with the salary cap, making the clubs think about their financial situation over the next 2 or 3 seasons, how they need to readjust to make themselves, clear and in the right position. So you're right. I think it's an opportunity not just for clubs but for players themselves.
Is there any chance of anything happening today on the transfer front, or do you think it's more likely to happen on Monday now?
I can't see it happening today. You know, there might be agreements that get in place, hopefully, but, you know, it'll be over the weekend or possibly Monday. I think the focus, and rightly so, certainly from myself and everyone involved, is tomorrow's game.
Yeah, is that frustrating that it might go down to Monday, or is it just the nature of the beast?
I think it's the nature of the beast, especially in January as well. Yeah, it is what it is, because there's that many games as well. You know, it's one of them where, for as much as Monday's the deadline, as soon as the game's done on Saturday, my thoughts will go straight to the cup tie against Hull. So, look, that's why there's roles called director of football and head of recruitment and head of football. You know, they know what we want, they know why we want them. You know, that's them to get their job done. Ours is to concentrate and make sure the team are prepared.
With Michael Manchin, how did it come about? Did George come to you and said he was looking to come back to this country, or did you know?
He's been back in the country a while, so yeah. I mean, it was more George coming to me. And listen, if I felt that there was going to be an issue, or I didn't particularly think Michael would be a good personality around the place, you know, the obvious answer would be get lost. But you know, he's a good guy, he's a good player. Clearly lacks a bit of fitness at the minute. Yeah, let's see where we are in 2 or 3 weeks' time. If he gets up to fitness and he gets to a level that we think's, you know, capable of sort of playing games, and then if that's the case, we'll have a look at it. If not, no problem. You know, we're just sort of, you know, facilitating him to try and get him fit, but at the same time, he's coming in and he's keeping our numbers a little bit higher than what we would normally have.
How pleased are you with the two centre backs last couple of games? I mean, usually it's been Lewis and one of the other two, but I think Walsh and Jackson have done great last couple of games, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been very good. I think probably the most pleasing thing is how aggressive they've been. You know, and that's something that I think when you're playing against some of the more physical sides and more direct sides, like a Northampton and a Portsmouth, you have to be physical, you have to be aggressive. If we're attacking and trying to score goals in and around the edge of the opposition's box and they clear it, what you can't afford at times is, you know, the opposition's centre forwards or number 10 getting hold of the ball and looking to counter. And I think we've done that quite well last 2 games because we've been on the front foot. And listen, the one thing for sure, if we're going to win the game tomorrow, that's something that we have to do well. You know, we have to stop the counter attack on the transition because Doncaster have got a few players with good pace in forward areas.